So you guys were doing all these side hustles, plus you had your cheerleading thing going, and at this point you're doing some bikes, flipping bikes, and side like doing swap meets and things like that. Where does the idea for the water store come in, and what's the mindset there, and like what's the thinking behind all of this? And tell me all of that.
There's a little to it. I mean, I was traveling across the country buying motorcycles, motorcycle parts, going with buddies. We drive to I think we drove to Tennessee one time. Me and my buddy, we did.
How long is that drive?
Well, my buddy Mike drove the first 27 hours straight, like a maniac. He's
20 hours.
27 hours.
You got to stop for gas?
We did, but he had a diesel truck. But what we were doing was, it's funny, when he had me drive, I was like sleeping. It was like 4 a.m, and I feel like this, like we're going off road, and like pulls off it, like just like rips across the thing, the freeway, and he's like, "You ready to drive?" I'm like, "Yeah." I look at the clock. I'm like, "Dude, you drove for 27 hours." So like now I just woke up. It's like 4 a.m. I'm like,
oh man.
So I had a garage full of motorcycles. Watching my money go up and down, up and down, up and down.
Right.
That was tough. So what we did was Ashley had savings like she always does.
Mm-hmm. So she's prepared.
So she's prepared to do
something.
Anything if something happens.
What we needed to
Fair
do.
enough.
I was running out of those stashes of money in my flannels. And we just decided we need to open up a business, like something that's going to be
sustain consistent income.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've always been into like health and wellness and
Right.
the fitness industry.
Because of course
and
you're
cheerleading.
promoting a fit life with cheerleading.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it's always been really important to me, like what you're putting in your body, and like you were talking about the mind. Like the mind is just as important as
Yes.
nutrition because it goes hand in
They
hand.
go hand in hand. Fair enough.
So, so I've always wanted to do something in that type of industry, and I'm not the idea person. Like I can help make it happen, whatever your idea is. I'm like, that's a great idea.
She's very detailed oriented. Like, okay, like we need to have this done, this done, this done, this done. Okay, now put in a list and get it done. Like, lawyer, what else?
Structured.
LLC, QuickBooks, all the above. So we, I was looking on this website. You ever seen that app? It's like a franchise app. You can buy into franchises.
Really? Oh, like parts of them?
Yeah, like Subways are like $45,000.
Sure.
But then you got to build it out and do all that, So we were looking at like franchises and stumbled upon water stores. And I was looking, I'm like, oh wow, like in,
Where were you
LA.
looking, by the way?
Yeah, it was
It's a franchise site.
Okay. Do you remember what it was called?
I don't remember what it was called. I'd have to think about it. But if you just Google something that's like buy into franchises, it would come up. It's actually pretty interesting. You'd be surprised when something like
Find a franchise to buy.
franchise opportunities.
Yeah, and it ended up being a
Let's check out what this first one is real quick.
yeah,
Because this might be useful for some of you listeners if you're thinking about doing it,
absolutely.
This is how these guys figured it out.
Absolutely, you look in your state.
Okay, so like how much money your budget is, like what
Absolutely,
you
how
want to
much-
spend, what industry you want to invest in.
And obviously, I was looking for under 50.
Okay.
Which
150K.
that would have been great. But I see, look, carpet cleaning.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
I just
Chef.
used what was it, Subway for example, because literally it's like $45,000 to open Subway.
$45,000 to open up a franchise of Subway
Yeah, that's
and
like,
eat fresh every day.
dude. I'm telling you.
Dude.
I mean, everything does taste the same if you get, unless you get a meatball sandwich.
I used to get the spicy Italian.
Oh,
That was my thing. That was my jam.
That was our go-to.
Yeah, spicy Italian
On the Italian herb bread.
let me get.
I churned to that, but I used to do sourdough before that.
I
So
love
they're
a
both
sourdough.
good.
Do you still get Subway?
Yeah, yeah,
Let
I
me
do. But I got to go to the ones that are like kind of good because some of them are not being kept up the way they should.
Do me a favor.
Tell me.
So Ashley says that we always smell like onions. If she ever eats onions, she always says Subway she smells like onions. But
I smell like their bread.
since Ashley's gone plant-based and I work my best to be plant-based on a daily basis,
But I eat steaks.
try if I was going to break, I would get a pizza or a burger. That's my jam. But I haven't broken in a while. eat a sandwich, go to Spicy Italian, and don't get meat on it. And I bet you it tastes the
Tastes the same. Totally.
Really?
Yeah, and you won't have swelling, and your gut doesn't feel terrible.
Dang,
Well,
I might try it.
I mean, that's what she says. But
Since I moved to San Diego, it's California burritos or nothing, so I ain't even tripping.
do you ever go to Los Dos Pedros?
I have not gone there.
Oh,
I usually go to right here, Ortiz on Garnett. And that's my spot, man.
Please
I take
go-
people after the podcast that are new to San Diego.
Yeah.
That's where we go. The guys know me there.
Well,
They know me. I bring these people along.
Well, I had 3 burritos this weekend, so I'm down for a 4th.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's do
absolutely. I'm into it. I mean, burritos all day long. Like everybody's like,
I
"What do
mean,
you
they're
eat?" I'm
good.
like, "Burritos."
All right, walk me back. So you decided to look on this site and you found something about opening up a water store.
I just saw like water stores in like different counties and different states.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this is interesting. I kind of looked at it and I look at the equipment. I'm like, this is super cool.
It reminds you of your Nesquik days.
Oh yeah, the Nestle days.
Tweaking
I mean,
Nestle.
Nestle.
That's all I remember.
Same-
Sounds
thing,
yeah.
same brand.
Nestle actually owns a lot of things.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Because
Yeah, they
the
own a ton.
Nestle is the I guess you'd say the umbrella company.
Yeah.
But
The
like-
parent company of everything.
What is it? Haagen-Dazs.
Oh wow,
That's Nestle.
not even surprised.
Dryers.
Dryers, because we used dryers for a while. Bonbons used to be Nestle.
Wow.
Ice cream sandwiches. You ever had ice cream sandwich with the ice cream at 0 degrees but soft and the cookies hard? And when you bite into it, like the ice cream shoots out of the side?
Yeah, I have.
Right off the line. No, this is right off the line.
I've had those when your freezer breaks and your parent and like your ice cream sandwiches are like melting a little bit, but you got to eat them quick so the ice cream shoots out the moment you take a bite.
Okay.
So I've had it somewhat.
I love it. I mean, we would get half gallons, literally half gallons, and you'd use the lid to eat the half gallon because it came out of the filler
Dang,
head like
dude.
0 degrees.
How do you not like get fat? I don't get it. You just must have a really good body type.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate
work
that.
out a lot?
You have a good body type too.
I mean, he's
No,
constantly
I just
in the water.
I just wear loose shirts so they hide my gut. I've gotten the situation figured out. You just got to keep a good frame.
I thought you'd
Yeah.
be hitting on Ashley, not me.
You know. But no, you look very
Long
in shape
and lean.
yeah. I don't know how you do it, man.
It's
I don't
it's my
either.
100 push-ups a day.
Yeah.
And I have a pull-up bar in the
the
shop.
shop.
Did you see it? You saw it?
I think so. That's very good. That's
How
a
many
good
of you
thing.
have you not done any?
I don't think so. It's probably too high for me to reach.
You
I'll
just
give you
gotta
a
jump. That's the only way
Give
I
you
can
a
do
boost.
one is I jump into it. Our neighbor Alex holds the record for 26 or 28.
Banged out 26. I mean,
Wow. We should open up I was thinking you could do like a challenge, like 20 push-ups get you a gallon or something.
So
I think we do
kinda,
I think we do
yeah,
pull-ups.
we're gonna do pull-ups
Pull-ups will work.
yeah, we want to put a pull-up
done.
wall.
It's done.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We're gonna do it.
Also, you should probably give if anybody comes to the store and has seen the podcast and says that they saw it and they say the word Blossom, maybe you can give them a gallon on me.
I like
Done.
that.
You know?
I like that.
There you go. Get some free
Done.
water. Some of the best tasting water in Pacific Beach.
Absolutely.
best
The
tasting
mineral
water.
infused alkaline water with calcium, magnesium, potassium minerals.
Bang.
We
For
said this was going to be
people-
an ad-free thing.
Well, no, for people that don't know, actually, the funny thing is, right, like you're using a process to purify our water. And then because of that process, I think from what you told me that it takes out all the minerals because you have to purify it in such a way using reverse osmosis, which is a fancy way of saying it's doing some crazy cellular extraction things.
Filtered.
yeah,
filtering
so,
it.
So water wants to naturally go where the concentrated solution is.
Yeah.
And so that's just how water flows. And so the reverse osmosis system reverses that process with pressure. So it pulls the water away from the concentrated solution
And leaves that solution behind
And
so you can
leaves
extract
that-
that away and have just clean
Exactly,
water.
Exactly.
But it takes so much of it away that you got to then add in the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one possible freak out for you would be if you added too much of something, but then you use these gauges to measure and see how much of
Yes.
each of those minerals have been added. Because too much of it can make somebody's stomach sick too.
Yeah,
Right.
somebody
Absolutely.
somebody that the high if the pH is really high, then
Yeah.
it can tend to mess with people's
Yeah, yeah,
stomachs
yeah.
sometimes.
Or
But
we usually leave our pH right around like 9.7 to a 10,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty good.
I got to say, because I have this bad habit of eating late at night.
Ooh, me too.
And I
do you
usually
eat?
wake up, well, whatever, like it's usually fruits generally I like to eat late at night, which is a terrible thing because it's all
Mangoes
sugar.
with
Mangoes,
like
yeah,
and
but
chili.
unless you're
pineapples
eating
and-
fruit, you could be eating a candy bar, which is
Well, I do that too.
Bad sugar.
And sometimes eat chips. And
man, I'm a chip fan.
bitchin' sauce, which is in San Diego. Who doesn't
my
like
gosh.
that?
Do you get the
It's
Costco size one?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do too.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
bitchin'
bad.
sauce
as
is I've been
It's
bringing
quite
it to work.
bitchin'.
It is quite
quite
bitchin'.
The
Yeah.
spicy one, the Chipotle one.
Yes,
Oh,
but I got to
dude.
tell you something which might be useful. I usually wake up in the morning and I have somewhat like after I wake up. This is a little too much information, but the first thing I do is I go to the bathroom to take a poop.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Me
But
too.
before I do
Squatty
that,
potty.
yeah, love the
Yeah.
squatty potty. But before I
Can't
do
go without
that,
it.
I wake up and I sometimes almost like every other day maybe, or maybe sometimes every day, I'll wake up and have a little bit of nausea or like some sort of like weird feeling in my stomach. But I wake up and the first thing I do is I drink our water, which comes from your store.
Absolutely.
And
you.
sometimes we'll add lemon to it. For most times we do. But I seem like the pH balance definitely neutralizes whatever like acidic behavior is going on in my stomach at the time. My suspicion is due to the food that I eat before I go to
That's
sleep.
exactly what it is.
Right. And so I know what's wrong.
Unless
with
you're
But
eating a
it's
handful
more-
of spinach. Are you eating like a handful of raw spinach before you go to bed? Is that when you get the munchies?
No, man.
No, I didn't think so. Neither do I.
No, it's
I have a
it's
rice-
all that. It's all of that. That good old
Processed.
Yeah, yeah,
Processed food.
Yeah. So I feel like the water helps. The
Oh no, the
pH
water does
that
help.
you guys are setting it to definitely helps. And I have this weird sort of thing. I got into it actually when I moved to the Bay Area. I noticed that water tastes different in different places that you go.
Oh, yeah.
Because I grew up in Orange County. Water pretty much stayed the same everywhere I went.
Whereabouts?
Moved up. So I grew up in Irvine.
Okay.
Once we moved from India here, my mom used to be a nurse in Irvine. So based on her being employed, we all decided to move here on her one income and start everything over here again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
cool.
And so then my parents bought a home in Mission Viejo, Ladera Ranch, more specifically, but like Mission Viejo, that area. So I kind of grew up there, went to middle school and high school there, but like half in Irvine and half in Mission Viejo. Then I moved to, actually went to UCI for college, and then I moved up to the Bay Area, and that's when I realized water tastes different. And water up in the Bay, I lived in Emeryville, if you know where that is. Right across from San Francisco, the first city you hit when you cross the Bay Bridge. And my tap water would taste insanely good, man. Like insanely good.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Close to the source.
I would
Yeah.
come home, fly home to my parents' house, and be like, Mom, your tap water tastes like crap. I can't do it. Then my parents got like the filtered stuff going, so they get the Arrowhead delivered at home because they don't, have like a local water store like we do here.
Yeah.
And plus, it'd be a lot of work for my dad to probably go do that, so he gets it delivered at home. But like, yeah, purified water is a game changer. Surprisingly,
My
most people
friends-
don't think about it.
My friends don't even know what I'm talking about from Oregon and Washington because they have good
Just
fresh
good
water,
water.
straight out of the tap.
Yeah.
But here in San Diego, a lot of places around, the city uses chlorine to kill off the bacteria
Yeah.
of the tap water. And the bad part about that is people drink the tap water, and when you drink that chlorine, it's killing off the probiotics of your own system. And so, because that's just what chlorine does. The chlorine doesn't know if it's good bacteria or bad bacteria. It just kills off bacteria.
So did you know about all this stuff before you got into the water business, or did you have to learn all of this stuff because you got into the
learned
water
a
business?
lot, and we are still doing research on a daily.
There's so much to learn about
But
the
Anthony,
water business.
walk me from this website, and you figured out. You said, "Okay, I'm gonna go get a water store." What were the next steps? What took place?
Writing down the numbers to we called a bunch of different companies.
Okay.
Started working with people, talking to them, seeing what we needed to open a store, crunching numbers, seeing what we had financially to do this.
But I think you found the spot before we even got to that point, right?
Found the
spot
Our
that's now?
location.
Oh, that's right. We did find the location.
Yeah.
Okay, Siri, why don't you stop listening to my conversation? You
They're
psycho.
always
Oh, man.
listening.
She's always listening.
You're gonna have an ad tomorrow with something you talked about.
Yeah,
today.
that's okay. Water store, PB Water Store is
yeah.
gonna advertise to me tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I had a buddy, my buddy Mikey, calls me and he knows we're looking for a spot. And he's just like, yeah, he's like, I think I see a spot for you. And he gave me the number. I called. Like, yeah, we'll meet you down there and check it out. So met the gentleman, Curtis and April. They're great. I mean,
Great
they're
landlords.
awesome landlords. They support us 110% with everything. And Ashley and him really got along well. He's a really nice gentleman.
Yeah.
And so we met him down there at the stop. So that's our first step. Like, we found the spot, and then we ended up getting the spot after about 2 months.
Yeah, there was a pizza spot or a pizza company that wanted to go in there.
Next to the donut bar that's opening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at the time there was Stuffed and Frat Boy Donuts,
Okay.
and they were open at the time.
And then we have Freshie, which
And then-
is
That's right next to
amazing.
you.
Oh,
Yeah, which they're
amazing.
awesome. It's got healthy, bowls and wraps and.
So you
good
guys got
stuff.
the whole block. People go get unhealthy donuts. They're gonna get thirsty. They're gonna go get water.
Oh, they're gonna be
Exactly.
so
They're gonna go
thirsty.
be like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to probably make better decisions. So they'll
Right.
they'll go to Freshie and get a nice little
Yeah.
healthy
Yeah,
vegetarian
so-
Yeah.
meal.
Yeah.
So we were crunching numbers and we were working out to see if we could even.
Do you
make
remember
this
what the
happen.
numbers came out to? If you don't mind disclosing any of that.
Well, we definitely
It's up-
underestimated.
we underestimated. I mean, it's upwards like close to like 100. You
So
know,
you need about $100,000
$75,000 to 100.
to do what exactly? To get a store location and all the paperwork licenses required to get business
Machinery,
permission.
the applications for the FDA, for the state, your permits to do the construction,
build out the rig and
plumber,
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what do
Yeah.
one of those systems cost, man? Like, what is the one that you guys have?
the
to,
reverse osmosis
Yeah.
system it was close to like 30.
Yeah. It
and,
can,
35.
does a water store end up purchasing this equipment, or do
yeah,
they
we
end up
bought it
leasing
outright.
So that's what we did. It was awesome, and it feels great.
Because now we own it. We bought it outright.
But you have
It's
all
ours.
responsibility of it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I mean, we're both pretty handy, like
Yeah, yeah.
if something goes wrong, she's good at researching what it is, and I'm good at figuring out and who can come and fix it.
This is where like I get an anxiety attack. Like yesterday, I was like freaking out. What am I supposed to do now? Like I was literally like waiting to cancel this, but I was like, I'm gonna wait till the last second. If I literally don't figure it out by 5 o'clock today, then I would have told you guys. Sorry, I apologize. I messed up. I don't know what's wrong.
she'd have
that's
been
the
she'd have been
thing.
a little relieved. She
I
was
was
like
so nervous.
anxious all day.
I literally can talk in front of a room full of thousands of people and have no issue. But then you put like a camera.
Well, that's
How
why I
many
picked these
cameras? And then,
small
like-
cameras because they're kind of like you forget about them.
Yeah. And then the microphone, I'm like,
But you're doing great. I think you guys are doing fantastic.
thanks. But back to your point, like, it's those things that are out of our control.
Yeah.
It's like, so you just have to make it work. You just got to let it roll and you got to,
So-
figure
So
it
did
out.
you have to go and get a loan?
No,
No.
I
He just sold off his motorcycles.
I think
Really?
so. Ashley had a good amount of money saved,
Okay.
and
Like a rough, because you said you were starting about in the 50K range, so I would
Yeah.
imagine roughly around that at least.
something
Right.
around there. And I had a little money saved, but I think I had a garage. I mean, I had a garage full of motorcycles. My motorcycles are
9
parked
motorcycles.
on the side of the house also, and I also had motorcycles like halfway across the country, just like all these motorcycles. It's
You
like
must have had at least like 100K worth of motorcycles maybe
something
across the
close,
country.
something
Yeah.
close to that.
Amazing.
And we just started just selling them off and paying bills and getting our equipment and just going forward, moving forward with it. And it was really a fun process.
And what was the inception date of this idea? Like when you started to
man.
look for the
Was
store?
it October or November that we
2018?
We were supposed to, in 2018 we were supposed to open the second week in November, correct?
Yeah, we were supposed to open the second weekend.
Second week in November, and it didn't happen.
And you guys
because
opened this year.
Well, because the state. So this is our first business.
There was some things we overlooked, and
Such as?
Like we thought we needed to get a permit from the state or approval from the state to open because
city.
or sorry, yeah, the city because it's San Diego based.
Okay.
But because it's a product for human consumption, it needs to be approved by the FDA.
water
And water is already a resource that we pay for.
Right.
So everybody has tap water.
everything goes to the state.
So it's like, is your water, the state asks all these questions, like, is your water from a reliable source? If so, where is it from? And because ours comes from the San Diego city water, then that's an approved source. So to them, that's already city approved.
Gotcha.
So the state, this is what we had. I dropped the ball on this. I thought, oh, this will. I didn't know. I was researching for the city, and then I ran upon a retail water facility for the state, and I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. So then I started reading all that, and then I realized, oh, it takes like 6 weeks for them to even get to your application, and then after that, it takes like another 6 to 8 weeks for them to come out and do the inspection to give you the thumbs up, you're good to open. And so like I said, I dropped the ball. So I was just calling constantly. And so as soon as I found out who the city inspector was, I mean, I was just calling every single day. Hey, it's Ashley Paradise with Local.H2O. Just wondering where we are abouts in the lineup. And so then,
Because we were ready to open, like
we were ready.
So you've had all the equipment bought and paid for. You have everything set up, and you can't open the doors because you haven't gotten approved from the state that your water facility is safe and sound. And that takes about 6 weeks roughly for you guys to even get the okay while you've already made all this investment.
Yeah, and because we found that spot, like we knew it was such a prime location that we needed to get it as soon as possible.
Right.
And then we came in that battle of that pizza joint coming in, and the landlord was like, "Man, did you guys cheer your?"
Well, I didn't do any cheering.
You didn't. He's like, "Man, did you cheer your way into this one?"
Wow.
He literally walks up and he's like giving us the keys. He's like, you know what, Ashley, you really cheered your way into this one. Because opening a business. So like, if you're gonna open a business, right? You're putting all this money out to spend money on equipment, spend money on build outs and construction and all that. But they want to see, like, I'm gonna sign a lease for 10 years, right?
Like
or 5 years.
big-
They want to see 10 years of that money that you can pay them rent,
Right.
like financials.
Well, that, and you can't get a business loan from a bank unless you've been open for 2 years of business.
Yeah.
They won't
Really?
give you
I
one.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
they
if you
won't.
had an idea and you wanted to raise capital to make that business idea happen, the bank will not give you a loan.
You better
Not a
talk to a
business
good
unless-
friend
I see.
with money.
I was misinformed about that. I didn't know that was a thing. So
Yeah.
you
Is that
have to
interesting?
show revenue for a bank to give you a
2
loan.
years.
So your options are
2
either
years.
go to a private person,
Yeah.
that would be a
Or get a
private lender,
personal loan.
or a personal loan, friends and family.
Hence why people have business partners.
Right.
Like
Somebody
you have the
have
idea
investment.
and I have the money.
Make it happen
Let's
together.
make it happen because we can't
Gotcha.
go to the bank and get that. So yeah, we sold a bunch of motorcycles. We saved some money and we just
Started paying on the spot, and then, I mean, because we couldn't build the equipment, which was
You
another
have
thing.
to get the equipment.
We had to, yeah. I
Which
mean,
it
and
took
they
2 months
build
to
it.
build,
They build
you
it
know?
from the ground up. You know.
No, do you have to put it all together yourself, or could you get help with that?
So the system they actually build for you,
Okay.
and then all the plumbing.
And who
and
is it?
everything.
Like, this is a private, like,
This is
water
a
filtration
Water Business
company.
USA.
Water-
They're based out of Vista,
San Marcos,
San Marcos.
Okay.
Twin Oaks Boulevard. Great guys.
Bruce and Ryan.
Yep. They
Awesome dudes.
So
helped us
roughly
a
about
lot.
30K it takes to get everything to you plus installation.
Well,
That's
no,
just
he
the-
did all the installation. That's just the machines.
Gotcha.
That's just the actual reverse osmosis machine. Then we have the fill station. We have the
tanks.
alkaline filter. We have the tanks. We have the UV lights. You have the extra filters.
The ozone. The ozone.
This
ozone.
doesn't include all the faucets and everything, right?
Not
None of
even
the
close, no.
output.
No, just the reverse osmosis.
I told her I
system's like
can't believe
30 grand.
So when we bought like the fill station, right? The fill station is just it's pressured by a pump that's on the actual RO system. I looked at it. I was like, I've never bought something so expensive without a motor.
That's crazy because you just came from all these bikes and stuff,
Yeah.
and you've bought this machine. That's so cool. So you're in the hole now. You bought everything. So how long did it take actually to get the approval?
10 weeks.
Yeah.
10 weeks.
Yeah.
So
So
you couldn't
we-
open in 2018. So now you're not only now you're not making money, you've already put all this money in and it's not able to turn any revenue at all.
Nope.
And
We had-
you have to pay rent because regardless you've signed the lease and bought the equipment,
We're 4 months in paying rent.
paying rent and not making a single dollar.
Not a dime.
So how much was rent roughly per month?
$4 a square foot over there.
Yeah.
Wow. And how big is the place?
5.
It's like
something.
600 square feet.
Yeah. And then we have cam fees, which is your
So
common
about $2,000 a
area
month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
we have, gosh, you're good at math, man. I'm a
No,
cheerleader.
I'm not. I'm actually terrible at math.
But I'm a cheerleader. I count to 8 and then I start back at 1. Like I just don't. I'm not a numbers person.
I've never heard that.
So, but then we have common, and then we have common. You know, we have our
9
our,
and 10 scare me. I don't like those numbers.
Don't, I try to
You don't
stay
do
away.
5, 6, 7, 8? How's that work? Is that dancing?
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's my leading up to 1.
It's not 5, 6, 7, 8?
Back to 1.
Back to 1.
5, 6.
1.
There we go.
So, so then we have our common area
knows
maintenance,
what's
and we have to pay for that. And so it's roughly about $2,500 a month.
Wow.
But that's just rent.
That's just rent. That's not power. That's not the water bill.
Nope.
Because the water store has a water bill.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah,
How many gallons of water do you think you guys process a week?
A week?
that'd be a question for you, sir.
On a daily basis, we're going through like anywhere from like 50 to 100. Just depends on how busy we are. I know
50
that
to 100 gallons of water.
a day.
A day.
A day.
Times 7.
It's
Whoa,
like
that's 7,
But see, that's not
800
even.
gallons of water.
So, in reading a lot of literature about opening a water store, you're wanting to do like 500 to 800 to
Gallons.
be doing well.
A day.
A day.
Because I mean, our price point.
You're on
Our
a
price
sell
point's
that.
55 cents.
Yeah, so it's a very low buy.
55 cents
Very
for
low price point.
Fair enough.
So we
And
gotta sell a lot
honest
of
to God,
that in order to make
I
rent.
thought when I first came here, I was like 55 cents. What are these people? Not you guys, but the other water stores the same price. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this? 55 cents so expensive for water, but you don't realize how much it takes to get a water store up and running,
No.
right?
We'll go to the store and buy a gallon of water. Actually,
Right.
go buy just a 32 ounce bottle of water, and
Yeah, it's about $1
yeah,
per gallon.
about $1.
$1.25.
not even per gallon.
Yeah.
It's like 32 ounces. A kid came in today, a gentleman. He's pretty cool, and he's like, "This water's been saving my life." And he pulls out this water bottle, and I'm like, "Cool." And he's like, "Do you have this water?" And I'm reading the label, and it's like, minerally infused alkaline water with calcium, magnesium, potassium minerals. And I go, "How much did you pay for this?" And it was like a 32 ounce bottle. He goes, $2.55. And I'm like, "Cool." I was like, "Here's a gallon
For $2.
for
Yeah.
$2 if you have your own
Jug.
container.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you don't, it's $3 for the milk jug.
Yeah.
You know,
And the tough part with buying bottled alkaline water or just even filtered water from a grocery store is, I mean, like I said, we're constantly doing research, and there's like microplastic pieces that they're finding in bottled water.
Right,
And the
right.
longer your water sits in a plastic bottle from the plant to the transportation sitting in a warm, hot truck, or depending on where it's coming from, then how long it's been sitting on the store shelves or even in their back area.
There's little stuff from the plastic seeping into that
Yeah,
water that you're drinking.
and it's BPA free, which most plastic, bottles are, but water's not made to be stored in plastic. So we have BPA free plastic bottles, and you're drinking your water through those bottles faster than that. Our jugs are leaking into it, or any jug is leaking into
yeah.
it. But you want to replace those bottles every 2 to 3 years because plastic will break down.
And then what is the counterpart if you use glass? Is there a metric for that? Or glass is basically good forever?
Glass is pretty good forever. That's what they recommend, like the Environmental Worker Group. That's what we kind of base everything off of.
Okay.
They hold everything to a higher standard.
I wouldn't buy vintage glass and drink out of it.
No, because it's
Gotcha.
probably not lead free.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So
it's not
our glass
lead-free.
is lead free. But if you are to store water for emergencies, you need to keep it in glass in a cool, dry place.
The glass just becomes heavy. That's the only downside,
That's
right?
tough, dude. And water weighs 8.2,
8.3.
8.3.
Funny
A gallon.
funny
A
story.
gallon.
I used to actually use water dumbbells in the house,
Yeah,
just like for
I
fun.
feel like those are old school.
Oh, so you know how much water weighs.
Yeah, well, I would just like play around with it because in the house I was like, I'm not buying this expensive dumbbell set. And I just wanted to like have a few, so if I wanted to like not make it to the gym and just do like something quick in the house, and get 2 or 3 of those, fill them up with water, and then you can pour them out and make them lighter. And also, yeah, water is really versatile, especially, and it does get heavy. 5 gallon, try to carrying 2 of those. This guy gets a workout. What most people don't know is that unique to your store, you actually help people get their water, fill it up, and then give it back to them in their cars or whatever have you, which I don't know how long that's going to scale for you once you start having a shitload of people coming through.
Hey,
But-
I try to
but that's
balance
pretty
as best
awesome.
But
as
it's
possible.
like people wait though.
Yeah.
Because I think the most part, the funnest part for me is the people that we get to meet on a daily basis,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah,
that come
yeah.
into the store, like you were just there for like 30, 45 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like people come in and we just meet the coolest people.
Well,
Yeah.
you're meeting the city, you're meeting your community, everybody that's
Yeah.
around you, and you're seeing what kind of where everybody comes to get their water. And
Yeah.
I was
No,
telling him it's the most fantastic idea, I would say, for just finding out what everybody's up to and being sort of that like central place where you can connect different people and
Yeah.
different dots together, and seeing your business mind and your sort of creative part of operationalizing it. It's like you guys are the perfect duo for running a water store. It's way more than a water store, I would
Thank
say.
you.
I
Thank
agree.
you. Abhinav used this terminology the other day. Water cooler. You know how like everybody's like around the water cooler talking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
at
Yeah.
work?
It's
Like
a
at
community
office?
water cooler, 100%.
Community
Yeah,
water
you're
cooler.
right. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Dual meanings.
Yeah,
I
fair
liked it.
enough.
I
I
liked
think
it.
so. I think the water store is definitely going to become that. Just knowing the personality that's behind it, it's like it's just going to come out of you guys naturally because you're already thinking about that in your day to day life. You're always figuring out, okay, well, how can I take this thing and potentially make this out of it? So you already have that mindset, and that's just going to happen. People are going to walk in, and that's going to connect. Hopefully, I can help with that in any way I can,
Absolutely.
and bring some more people over to the studio. Let's get the word out about it and things like that.